Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Years in a Face Wrestling podcast. On today's episode, there is another promotion that has risen from the ashes. They are alive, you could say, like a phoenix. And that is AAW. Not to be confused with AEW. This is two A's and a W. And we have someone you're probably familiar with joining us today, but I'm going to hold my introduction for him. And I want to check in with Chris Ramiro. Chris, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? I am excited. AAW is alive, and in the journey of Two Heels in a Face, we started covering AAW as one of our initial shows as we found our niche.
True.
Talking about the independent scene in the Chicagoland area, and through those initial podcasts, I don't know how Trent stumbled upon SoundCloud links, and reached out to us, and ever since, we had a good relationship. And I think with this appearance, once again, he's topping the charts, and he's the most invited guest to this podcast in comparison to Steve Tortorello from Warrior Wrestling. Welcome, Trent.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! What's up, gentlemen? I cannot claim appearance record anymore. I was a time where I was leading the chart, and then Steve, became to be an entity in Chicago. Then me and Steve were battling. But here's where I don't have an advantage. Steve gets usually a preview show and then a post show. I can't compete with it. And then he just ran like 17 shows in September. I cannot compete with a pre and post when we're on that pace. But I might have to just hand the crown over to Steve next time, right in the middle of the field at the stadium. At the football stadium at Marion County. I think that's what it's coming down
to. You're still number one in our hearts, Trent. Don't tell Steve that. But yeah, he gets a little spoiled. They have been running a lot. And it looks like AAW kind of I would say maybe adopting a sort of similar strategy, or trying to make up for lost time and get that juice back. And you're running a series of shows.
Yeah.
The first one happening tomorrow, which is October 1st, I believe. Is that tomorrow?
October 1st, Thursday, man. That is October
Thursday
already.
Show. Spooky
season, as the ladies like to call it.
Right. And how many shows in total are we got coming up here?
So Alive is a series of 4 shows. This is a story arc of 4 shows to close the year out, right? So
yeah,
as you guys know, originally, obviously we missed 7 months of shows between Epic and now,
right?
But this would be Windy City Classic season, right? Like usually we couldn't do the tournament last year, the line tournament, or last month, which is a heartbreaker, because that
really is
such a thing we're known for.
Yeah,
because that kicks off Windy City Classic season. So we couldn't do that, so to make up for it. So obviously when we got the clearance to do this, we were able to get 4 dates with Bourbon Street, working in accordance with Bourbon Street, all the regulations and all the safety precautions.
Right.
And we're going to get to close the year at least with a semblance of story arc to go into 2021.
Yeah.
So before we even talk about what's coming ahead, I do like the fact that you're saying it's a story arc throughout 4 shows.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's important, and that promotions are noticing, like, look, we have this span of time to work, and let's give them a story that's going to last for a while. You mentioned Epic was the last AAW show.
No, it was going to be. We were leading into it, but the last one ended up being Art of War in February.
Got it.
The day here's the funny thing. We usually meet up, the booking team meets up for like booking meeting and planning and production stuff. And the day we usually go out to dinner and we hang out. The day it was happening, that was the day the NBA walked off the court, and that kickstarted everything. So I remember we finished up, we planned, like, the show was booked, we're ready to go. We're like, oh, cool, let's go hang out. We were like hanging out, getting some coffee. And then we were like just flipping through our phones, like, damn, the NBA just walked off the court. And like, what the hell, Tom? And then like Tom Hanks made a statement immediately after that he had it. And that was it. That was the kickstart to the whole thing. And we were like, oh shit.
Right. Because I think we were keeping a close eye, because I think you guys were the only show that was still kind of like, also like, it's still happening, maybe.
We kept it on the calendar as long as we could.
Yeah.
And And until the final, because as you're saying, Chris, it went from okay, we're still happening, we're checking with the regulations, it's still happening, it's still on. Okay, we might have to cut down capacity. No, we're back to normal capacity. Logan Square said yes. Wait, we're gonna find out. Okay, no, it's still happening, but we're gonna clean everything. Like I'm talking like we were like, okay, we're gonna send the crew in there early. We're gonna go disinfect the entire Logan Square auditorium. This and that. Like it was all sorts of shit until the final stab came down that it was done.
Yeah,
Tough day.
that's wild. But can you remind us at least? And this sparked also a conversation at Warrior Wrestling and other shows that we've attended, where we miss AAW. We talk about it, and we're actually trying to remember who are the champs.
Oh man,
we forgot that Chris Statlander was the women's champion, right?
Stat is a women's champion. She's out with injury, as you guys know,
Right.
For a while, so she will not be on the live shows because she's in rehab now.
Right.
Hakeem Zayn is the Heritage Champion, also known as Rohit Raju.
He did not push Paco.
He did
He
not.
took the title away from Paco. That's right.
Right.
We kicked off a hot thing with him because he went from that whole thing burying Paco, just 6 feet in the ground, burying Paco.
Oh man.
He's also known as Rohit Raju on Impact. And he's the X Division champion right now. It started at AAW. I'm telling you, the buzz for him.
And he's great on the mic. I did not
fantastic.
much know about him until AAW.
His stuff since has been great, even during the lockdown. 'Cause he's still doing TV, so his lockdown stuff has been amazing. Obviously, the besties are still tag team champions, and then Mansoor is the heavyweight champion. Which I got to say though, for champions, if you're a champion during the COVID era, like your title reign is your stat book is like, damn, you was champion for like fucking year, like a whole year. Holy shit! So like it's crazy because like your stats just got inflated nicely without having to do anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's probably countless heels across the world.
Oh yeah,
taking advantage of that, which is smart.
But that's the current champ lineup. So yeah, everybody except everybody except Statlander is going to be there, fortunately.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like that was enough. Like AEW did Sammy and Penta first, and Impact did it. AEW put a mid card title on Hakeem Same first, and does Impact just copying your booking, huh?
No, let's not go.
Well, a lot of influence from Trent
right now. I mean, come on, I do an Impact. I do the number one Impact podcast in the world too. Now I can't confirm or deny things like this. But no, I will say this. It's not to say that there isn't things brought to light, right? Like if you feature somebody who normally isn't getting featured, and you bring it to light with a company that does production like AAW, we put a lot out there, a lot of material. We do, as you guys know, as opposed to one thing that sets AAW apart always has been the production. And we put a lot of promos and vignettes. We put a lot into character development. So we put a lot out. So the idea is like, yeah, people are going to see it. They might have seen Hakeem and like, wow, we really didn't realize this guy was that good on the mic, and he can carry the middle of the card. Like this guy definitely is. He has it. He has the tools. And then of course people see that and people talk, because you'll see like that hustle and muscle team with him and Karam. They started getting booked together. Other places started booking them as a team now.
I saw that. Yeah.
So it's something that we bring it to light, and it benefits the characters, and it ultimately benefits us because we become a home base for them. So I'm glad to have a part in it and be a part of that development. It's pride for me to do it.
Yeah. I put you in a tough spot there. So that was a really good.
Yeah, I'm not liking that, Charles.
Really good political.
I'm trying to keep the Impact people happy here. And you're burying me alive right now.
oh, that's pun. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say a little quick sidebar regarding the podcast. How's that going? Like you guys are picking up steam. I see you on my Facebook feed every night. I don't know who you're podcasting with, like with the band, with the with the Impact show.
Well, Hemi, the band, we were doing the Quarantine Chronicles for a little bit. We stopped that because things kind of opened up. We started going into practice a little bit here and there. Obviously, not working towards the show. There's not much to practice for. But we started doing that. But the Impact Pod has grown exponentially during this time, which is to me was the craziest thing because we got time to focus on it. So
Mhm.
during the pandemic,
Yeah.
we were hosted. We initially were hosted by this channel who was doing Impact for years prior. He kind of gave us a little start. We kind of gained a little footing through that. Then we broke out on our own, and we started doing live. Like we go live. We're like the post show for Impact every Tuesday. Then we do a throwback episode every Thursday, talking the old TNA stuff, and then we do an open forum discussion on Sundays. So we're constantly broadcasting, and the Impact people are happy with us. We're keeping everybody happy. We got a lot of talent listening. They're in the live chat. So it's been cool, man. To me, that was one of the big benefits of the pandemic was the ability to grow that. And you start seeing returns on it. You start getting
Mhm.
paid to do these things. You start seeing money coming in, and you're like, man, that's crazy. Like we're getting paid to do this. We're in the black, and you're like, shit, this is actually a professional thing now. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
So, what's it gonna take for Impact to call you the official podcast?
I just tell people to spam the shit out of their Twitter and let them know that that's what you want, and well, hopefully it'll happen. But I personally, I think we're already doing a post show. We're doing a lot for it for
Mhm.
the brand. It does make sense. It would make sense not to put ourselves over too much, but we've become like the most listened to Impact pod out there, and it would be very nice to be officially endorsed. But the company is happy with us. The management in the company has told us they're extremely happy with us, and they like what we do. So I'm like, all right, just put that blue check on there and let us know that you're endorsed, and I'll be fine. So we'll see how it goes. It's patience, as you guys know, in any kind of
Yeah,
business.
consistency, and I think that's something
yeah.
that you guys have been right on.
In the meantime, I have fun. I'm really having fun doing it. I love doing this. I think you guys are like the first podcast I was ever on. So like it kind of sparked something in me, at the time. And I love it. I love the broadcasting. I love the aspect of connecting because we go live. So going live
Mhm.
connects with people immediately. And that's a
Yeah,
really,
it's a
really
different
fun thing.
experience for sure.
It is, man. It really is. And I got crazy stories already, which I'll share off air of insane encounters with people who feel like they know you in real life when they're just a listener in a live chat. You guys can only imagine the shit that we've had to deal with.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, when you make it big, can you just remember the little guys down here and
Absolutely.
remember where you cut your teeth?
Absolutely. Cannot forget my boys.
No, you touched on two. You didn't even mean to, but you touched on two important things. I think that has helped our podcast so much. And recently, we spoke to some people who were starting one, and I don't think they heard us because we were like talking behind masks, and no one could really hear each other in this place. But the two things that have helped the most are consistency and community.
Yep.
And you touched on both of those, like connecting with your community via live and just how much you guys do it and how consistent you are in doing it. Like, there's going to be obviously off weeks or struggled weeks where it's just like you can't, you have life going on, but
yeah,
those are the two most important things. I think that's probably why it's helped so much. Obviously your passion and everything for it, but like consistency and community. And that's what I would tell anyone who's like
the fact
reach
that
out.
he owns like 30,000 Impact shirts.
a lot.
30,000.
I try to wear a new one every show, but sometimes you have your favorite T-shirts and you just kind of like rotate the favorite ones. And I'm like, I really should wear a different one every show, but it requires a lot of digging into the closet. But no, I consistency is key with any kind of entertainment venue. But with podcasts, I see it become such a, if you constantly stay in someone's feed and you give them a destination and then say, hey, I know every Tuesday I'm going to get this. Every Wednesday I'm going to get this. People are creatures of habit. A lot of people like habits, like routine, something they can rely on. And it's the same with podcasts. As simple as that sounds, podcasts are a big part of that. I'm very inspired. Like I got to become really good friends with Vince Russo during all this. The infamous Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, dude! I want to hear everything about that.
He's awesome, actually. Despite whatever dirt sheets tell you, he's a phenomenal dude, and he's a phenomenal podcaster. Like he's created a podcast empire with what he calls the brand, and it's amazing. Like he does like he does like 15 a week. It's unbelievable, and he's recording so many different things. And he's got people on his network. He endorsed ours. We were featured on his network for a little bit. for the impact stuff, for the throwback stuff.
Yeah.
So we did a little work with him, but dude, I'm like, it's amazing to see the work ethic. He turned into a full-time job. I mean, that's what he does now for a living. He's extremely successful at it. But just that consistency, I see, like, I know in my feed every Tuesday it's going to be this show, and I can look forward to this show. Every Wednesday it's this show. Every Thursday it's this show. It's just like boom, 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 and it's constantly there. And you kind of just you develop a sense of like, cool, I listened to it, and I can hit up my friend who listened to it too. I'm like, did you hear this today? And it's like people like having something tangible enough that they can connect with other people through it. And that's it goes for anything, especially entertainment.
Right. Especially, so we were talking about consistency and bringing it back to live wrestling. Like that's the build community part of it, right? Like sometimes we'll go and we don't even know the card, but we know because there's a few people that we see it on a regular basis. We'll go talk to them, have a couple of drinks, enjoy a good show.
Yeah.
And that's, that's what's happening with AAW. Like we missed going to these shows.
Yeah.
They're coming back. And that's the cool part of that, right? Like people were consistently expecting a show every month. And AAW has been absent for 7 months, obviously, like a lot of promotions.
Mm-hmm.
But the want, the demand is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And like now you have 4 shows lined up. Hopefully everything goes well and they happen, right? Because things can change and it is what it is, but knock on wood, these 4 shows are going to happen. And it's a series called A Live, and I am excited.
I'm excited too. Like, it's weird. You're like randomly nervous, right? Because you're like, oh, I've done this in a while, but it's like I was talking to Mike, and he's like, man, I'm just nervous. I'm like, dude, you ran 1,000 shows.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different world now, Like, you have to be conscious of making that one mistake because people are looking for you to fuck up somewhere. Oh, they didn't have enough distance. Oh, AAW set the chairs up wrong. They didn't take temperature. So we're covering all the bases. We're making sure we keep not only the talent safe, because how many of these promotions have had outbreaks now? They've had some outbreaks, and obviously the promotion cannot be held responsible for someone who, let's say, they contracted it, but it takes 2 weeks to incubate it, and they don't get it till the 10th day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I've seen that no one's really holding any of the promotions responsible, really. I mean, people have made comments like, oh, because NXT had a huge breakout, AEW had a breakout, but nobody's really like holding their feet to the fire, like, you guys did this. It happens. People are getting over it, they're healing, and it's fine. But we want to at least show that we're doing our part. Like, we are going to take the responsibility to come back and do this. Then we have to make sure we cover all the bases, and that requires an extra level of thinking, not just, oh, let's book a show and put it on. Here's the production, here's the vignettes, whatever. Now it's like we have to account for live stream, and within the live stream, it's like, how do we make sure we present the audience safely? How do we seat them safely? Where do we put the boys and the girls? Like, things, there's a lot of little factors now to consider, including the crew. Keeping the crew safe, the production crew.
Right. Yeah. No, it seems like a lot, like those outbreaks you're talking about seem to be more locker room focused. So like,
exactly.
You're focused on the audience, right? And not letting things happen there, but also like all the crew that's in the back, and all these wrestlers wrestled somewhere maybe the weekend before.
It's loose, right? Someone can come in to the crowd. We can do all of our safety. They're wearing a mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. But let's say somebody's got it and they're carrying. They're a non-symptomatic carrier.
Right.
And let's say it incubates the next day. Now you're going to say like AAW gave it to them. But there are people who will say, oh, they got it there. Shit.
Right.
We have to be ready for that, which I know all the other indies are. I mean, the other indies have everybody's dealt with this now. Even the big companies have dealt with this. Baseball teams have dealt with this. It's happening, but I also see there's a little more logic coming into play now. People are realizing that, number one, young, healthy people are passing this within, the 1 to 2 weeks. People aren't really getting sick. There's less people actually getting sick to the level that there's the hospital. Obviously, the hospitalization numbers are down. We've done that part of it. It's just it's still a fear, and it's going to be there until a vaccine is there that calms everybody's nerves. But until then, if we're going to play ball on this field, then we have to play ball with those rules and the fears that we have to accommodate. We have to accommodate everybody's fears, and we have to be conscious of it.
Yeah. That was very well said. And so the 4 shows, Chris, unless you were going to go into anything, what are the dates for those? Just so we hammer those out. And one's happening tomorrow, October 1st.
October 1st is the first one. Then October 29th, we should totally do a Halloween theme for that one, like Halloween Havoc or something. Like
Yes.
Then we have November 12th, and then we have December 10th. So
okay.
Still some vibes of Windy City Classic, season. 4 shows is not bad. It's not bad in the last 3 months of the year.
Right.
So, was there any talk about once we have these 4 shows, at least making 2 of those the JLM, even if it's not with the talent that would normally be there?
There was a talk to do it. Like, do we just put it on, right? Do we make it up the tournament and just continue that? Like, then 2 of them are tournament, or double up a day where it's tournament on one day and then get a winner, move on through. There was a talk, but it felt so cheapened. Yeah. For what, because as you guys know, you've been to probably all of them at this point, the lineup has become our thing. Like, it's become such an important thing. It's also very personal to Danny and Mike because it was for Jim and his family. And
JLMT, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hopefully Basil and Nate are listening right now, just shaking their fists. But
sorry, guys.
But we're like, if we can't do it fully, why don't we just wait till next year and do it right? And this will actually act like this year is a parallel. It's a parallel dimension. If you guys ever watch Back to the Future 2, it's the parallel alternate universe that's created from the timeline, and that's what this is. It's the same timeline running. 2020 is running up here, but this is a completely alternate universe, and that's what Alive is literally living in its own timeline. That's what these shows are doing, and they're going to come back and pick right back up. And not that we're going to not use some consistency off these shows, but or some continuity, but it is existing in its own world. They're not named the normal show names. They're not named anything. They're just kind of their own world. So we have to operate within that. So Lynham will be next year. Unfortunately, it's hopefully everything goes well next year, but we should be back with that.
I'm confused now because you got time travel involved, so I don't even know where I am anymore.
I don't think anybody does.
In terms of fans' expectations, can they expect that last Alive show in December to be have the feel of a Windy City Classic, to where the main event is going to be something that could potentially build for months and storylines come to a tipping point?
That's
this
the
is
idea.
Paco's chance, dude.
Yeah, and Paco's come back to her. Yes,
Paco wants to step up. This is the time to step up. But not but yeah, I mean, my suggestion to the team was we still have to treat this like a story arc that builds to December. The idea, we always build to December. As you guys know, our pivot point shows are epic in the spring. United We Stand usually in the summer is the big one. The Lynham tournament to kick off the fall, and then the Windy City Classic is closes the year out strong. So we always have those peak shows. We have to treat it like that because we're building to this. It's the end of the year. It's going to give people something to feel good about at the same time, and it's going to be very special. Because think about this too. If you guys know Danny Daniels as much as I do, you do know that he's been itching to do shows. The guy's a creative machine, and for 7 months not having an outlet, it's like being in prison for the guy. So he really wants to deliver on this, and I think we will, man. We really are. We got a lot going on. The team is ripe right now.
Right. So speaking of, Chris, unless you want to transition into anything,
go ahead.
Let's see. I mean, let's talk about who's going to deliver. I'm just going to, in terms of the matches announced for the October 1st show. By the way, if you're listening to this and it's already past October 1st, hopefully you're listening to it in the morning or the afternoon of October 1st. The show,
or you haven't seen it yet, and it's the weekend, and you've ordered it on Fight TV for $12.99, and you're like, I'm about to watch this on Fight TV, and this is a great pre-show for it.
Yes, absolutely. Spin it anyway. Spin it any way that makes it relevant.
I gotta sell those buys, man. I gotta be like Don West and start selling the shit.
Buy. Okay. I'm just gonna say what's announced really quickly right now, and then we can just jump around to what interests us.
Yeah.
Matthew Justice versus Manders. Sky Blue versus Elena Black. Christy Janes versus Hyan. AAW Heritage Championship match, Hakeem Zayn versus Travis Titan. AAW Tag Team Championship match, the besties in the world versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. There is a 6-man tag, Ace Perry, Stephen Wolf, and Stephen Wolf's handpicked mystery partner, which could potentially be Hulk Hogan. Just kidding. No, it's not. He's not the third man in this case, or the 6th man. Versus Gringo Loco, Airwolf, Angel Dorado. That is a lot of lucha right there.
What a decent card. Like, honestly, for what everything going on, I was like, this is a damn good card. This is an AEW card.
It really is, yeah. And then capping off AEW Heavyweight Championship match, Jake Christ, who has been just a complete mainstay and is synonymous with your brand, against good old Mance Warner. So I don't know, where does your mind go immediately, Chris or Trent?
Oh, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to go match by match and we can just give a little opinion on it.
So actually, my quick takeaway
good
was going to be, is this because we're familiar with Elena Black, is this her first her AAW debut?
I was going to start with that one, actually. Good call. So she did a dark match for us.
Fight for the Future?
She did. It was Fight for Future match, not taped though.
Okay.
It was with oh my god, I forgot her name.
Blair Onyx.
Blair Onyx, yes.
Yep.
They did a dark late last year.
Mm-hmm.
So technically this is her debut, and so is Sky Blue. There's a Sky Blue's debut and she's got an interesting buzz around the Midwest. And I know we've been high on her for a while. Like, I don't think she's gotten as big of a platform yet, and this will be a pretty good one for her. I'm curious to see what Sky Blue does. I know Lena Black's making some more dates lately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Sky Blue, I'm really curious to see what she pulls out, because this could be essentially a showcase for her to either become a mainstay or not. So I'm excited to see these two tear it up.
Mm-hmm. Could you say that after this match, it'll probably be both black and blue because of all the
God, I didn't even think about that.
Oh
my God, he's here all week.
Oh man, I am not a father yet. I should probably give that joke to you, Chris, for you to use it.
No, can take no credit. But AEW does get credit for having 2 women matches in this card. Christy James versus High-End.
I was going to say that. I think that's where the demand is in terms of just the like what we see online in terms of the feeling of still wanting that. And it looks like your card's delivering that.
I love Christy James is amazing. I'm a big fan of hers. She's awesome. I think she puts a lot of time into what she does. She's very professional, and she is really out to prove something in wrestling. Because she works hard. She is low key. She's a little more low key than she should be, I think. She trains, in Mexico a lot. She flies out there and trains and does matches. She's like tore up with the best of them, and a very, very good, strong. I didn't want to say up and comer because she's like a level past that, but she is making some really, really cool waves. I'm excited to see her growth in her career. Hyan is another one. She was in Texas originally. We had her in Texas. She moved up here, and we started working with her more. And as we saw before we all ended, before pandemic, she was being managed by Stephen Wolf. And
that's right.
I'm looking forward to another one. This is to me, for the women's division, this is a very important match because it's going to set the tone of who is going to be going into that title picture pretty soon,
Yeah. I saw Hyan went Super Saiyan and has blonde hair now. She just got it dyed. I
saw that. Yeah.
It might have been today. Yeah.
I saw that. At first I was like, who is this? I was like, with Stephen Wolf, browsing the video went out. I was like, who the hell is that? But she looks completely different. I mean, her looks completely different. Even Wolf, he shaved his beard. He looked totally different.
Yeah.
They're coming in fresh with a whole new look tomorrow. So I'm very curious what they bring. By the way, Stephen Wolf is the best dressed member of the AAW roster, hands down. 3-piece suit. He walks the video he put out. He walks into the show like tops, like always, and always with a foot-long sub from Subway. Every time.
What does he get? What sub does he get?
I don't know. I never asked him. Actually, I should ask him what he gets. Always a Subway though.
Yeah.
Always $5 football.
Yeah, it's kind of got that feel. It's kind of that feel of. I mean, when you see like you know, when they always cut to like football players or basketball players.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people wear like crazy stuff, like Cam Newton wears like the like things that used to be like rugs, and now he's like wearing it. But yeah, it's kind of got that feel of like, you know, when a professional athlete shows up to the stadium and, you know, he comes in the suit.
Mhm.
It kind of seems like that same thing. Like, I don't know, he probably wears it when he manages. He probably doesn't wrestle in that though, I would assume, right?
They no, he doesn't wrestle in that,
No.
but it's one of those things where I like it a lot because I remember it. It stands out for me that like he comes in looking like a pro.
Yeah,
You know, he's a young
exactly.
guy and he's still cutting his teeth in a lot of ways, but he comes in looking like a pro every time. And that's a reason that a lot of these owners and management emphasize to these guys to come in looking professional, because you are a star. You want to perception is reality, you
Yep.
know? And I mean, there's a reason. Like if Vince McMahon showed up in board shorts and a t-shirt, you know, like you'd be like, yeah, you know, like you know, you want it, the perception of
I
the
agree,
owner,
yeah.
the perception of the star, you know, like when the main stars are walking in the building, you want them to look like stars. It's a big complaint that I've heard about, like AEW. The guys are like way too casual. You know, like apparently show up on TV like in t-shirts or beach shorts and sandals. It's like you don't. I mean, it's like and people have talked about that.
Yeah.
I always remember, like I remember Wolf coming out of the suit. I remember Christopher Daniels is one that never is without proper dress. You know, like years back, I remember reading an interview with him, and he said he's like, I was always told you come in looking like it's a professional you are, and it shows, man. To me, that stands out for a young guy like Wolf. It stands out for him.
Yeah.
I don't know who talks about it, but I heard it several times, like the airport effect,
Absolutely, 100%.
where you just want to be in the airport, you don't know who that is, but they walk by, I'm like, yeah, that's somebody.
Absolutely, that's something I feel is so
That's
lost
somebody.
in today's wrestling community. People have to like guys, don't forget you are on a stage. People
Yeah.
look up to you. People want to take a picture with you. And if you're dressed like them or you're just super casual or you're blending in, you're not trying to blend in. Yeah, you want to be a destination for people to stop and say, "Hey, who is that? I want to stop and meet you. I want to get a picture taken with you." You have to have that, the airport effect, the head turn. It is a real thing. Did I ever tell you guys a Buff Bagwell story that I had?
I don't think so.
No, but please do.
This is a great story. And it completely is the airport effect. I was at the Atlanta airport in 2000. I want to say 2002. This is after WCW now. This is 2003. This is 2 years after WCW. I am in security line. This is right peak, 9/11 security. So security's out the door. And I'm in line, this big ass line in Atlanta. And I start hearing this buzz like behind me, like this buzz, this wave. It's like people are like making I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, I look back and you see all this like insanity, like buzzing, people buzzing, yay, taking pictures. I go, what is going on? And so come walking is Buff Bagwell, full gear, like full on Buff Bag, not like with the completely full gear, but he looks like a star. He's got some kind of special clothing on. And he's coming back, and everybody's turning their heads. And they're like, "Oh, Bushy, Buff, what's up, Buff?" He's like, "I'm the stuff." And he's like, "Buff Bag, what's up, man?" He goes, "NWO for life." And he's like, he's gimmicking. And they walked him through all the fucking security, got him right through. But I will never in my life forget, it was like a wave at a baseball game where it's like the wave starts, and you just see the wave going. It was like that. Every single head. It's the busiest airport in the country. Every single head turn. Everybody looked, and people didn't know who the fuck he was. There was like, who the fuck is this guy? It looks like a star. That's the effect. To this day, it stands out to me, and I'm like, God damn, how many guys can say they can do that? And it's so important, super important.
Yeah. So, who is the mystery handpicked partner, and why is it Paco, Trent?
I think this interview is over. Paco, man. Paco is it could be Paco,
Could be.
It could be anybody. Like you said, it could be Hulk Hogan. Anybody at this point. Stephen Wolf is a connected man. That suit comes with connections, so we'll see who he picks. But keep your eyes peeled on this one. It's gonna be interesting.
I want to say, I'll also, before we jump to the match, I want to say, I'm pretty sure Hyan tweeted, um, and this is something we're fully in support of, but I think she said she wants to be signed. She said like a goal wants to be signed. It's either within a year or by the end of the year. I'd say probably within a year makes more sense just because the end of the year, not that she can't because she's good enough, but like the end of the year and still like everything kind of unveiling
Mhm.
um, takes some time, but I think she put out a tweet, something like that, like I want to be signed within a year, or something like that. So
What do you guys think? There's such a rush to get signed. Like I know it's a dream, yeah, you want to get signed, but people are kind of almost looking at it like it's that easy because it's become a little loose. Like people are getting signed up, scooped up quick, but like there is a lost art of cutting your teeth for years on the independents and really perfecting your craft before you get to a sign stage. Like there's a lot of people who they indied for years. I mean, Eddie Kingston's a great example of this.
Right.
Talk about a guy who was completely an indie guy. He had two brief runs in Impact, but that was late. That was just not too long ago, a couple years ago. Indie guy for nearly 20 years, and he got a big stage. Full on featured role. He was on, like I said, he was on Impact, the LAX thing. It was on, not a wrestling role though. Managerial role, but this is a featured star role on a big station. But think about it. He got to this big stage after cutting his teeth and perfecting this character for 20 years nearly.
yeah, yeah,
Don't rush to get signed. Like you could be because you remember when he made that appearance, people were losing their fucking mind for him to get signed. It's like, yeah. Now it makes sense.
I think there's some truth to that. I think we probably have to have her on and ask her. Otherwise, I hope I'm not completely misquoting the tweet because I don't look like a jackass or again. But
burying everybody today, Charlie. You have buried me.
I think it seemed like a thing of like confidence and
Yeah.
like you say it, you want to have that ride that line of like I am real, like I'm really good and I can do this without being too braggadocious, but like putting it out, if you're saying it and putting it out there in the sphere, you believe it and then it comes true. So it seemed to be more along those lines, not to say that like what you're saying is completely wrong, because sometimes patience is a virtue.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I interpret it as, but whatever happens, support her either way. You can make a living even if you're not signed. I think that's the goal for most, or at least like a really good fallback goal, to make a living doing what you love. So we'll see how that pans out.
Absolutely. What else we got on this card? Let's go down. What else? The title match, the Heritage title match. Travis Titan and Hakeem Zayn for the Heritage belt. And this is great because Hakeem was on a tear, as you guys know, before we shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Karam on a tear completely. And the thing is, even though we shut down, he kind of continued this through his role in Impact, and it's a different name, but the talk is there. The verbal is there,
right?
And he's currently the reigning X Division champion right now, as well as the Heritage champion. So this is a strong guy. This is an interesting aspect. The Hakeem Zayn we left in February is like even stronger in October now, coming back way strong. So to me, that's very interesting. And Travis Titan's a newer guy, up and coming. I think he did one Fight for the Future for us, I believe. And it's going to be interesting to see this match. This you got a more veteran, young guy, both out to prove themselves, continue to prove themselves. I'm excited for this one a lot. I mean, as you guys, I'm a big Hakeem Zayn fan, and I think he's very fired up to come back. So this one should be fun. This one should be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely got, speaking of confidence, transitioning, he's got like really good in-ring confidence, Hakeem Zayn, which is like, I'd probably put it like maybe number one in his arsenal, at least from my what I've seen. My personal fan perspective is that.
Even though he completely destroyed Paco, and I know how you guys feel about Paco, but he completely destroyed Paco, derailed Paco's epic title win. Derailed his rematch
pop in the Logan Square Auditorium.
I missed it. I was out of town, but from what I saw, it was everybody told me. I got text saying it was the biggest pop in Logan Square Auditorium ever, and it was a damn good like very unexpected finish. It's like, holy shit. So it's pretty cool. Paco, forget to have him in that list. You know, he's in there. He's in the record book. At least he got in there.
Yeah, he got
it'll
in
never
there.
happen again. Poor Paco.
Oh no, let's not say that. Let's not say that.
Kidding. One of my biggest things to tease Danny about is I keep trying to get Danny to come out of retirement, and I was like, just do it against Paco. Just pile drive him right to hell. One more pile driver right on Paco. You can leave happy. You know, just fucking take that bastard out. And he's like, why are you always aiming me against Paco? I'm like, take him out. Easy picking. Just pick the bones. You know, just ruin him completely. But he won't do it.
Oh man, we will not stand for that Paco slander. Chris, can you please make a note to edit this out?
You guys had Paco on, right? We got Paco on for you guys at the...
Yeah, I got him briefly at LaSalle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in many moons.
He could not believe somebody wanted to talk to him. He's like, what? They want to talk to me? I'm just Paco. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. He's like, what am I gonna say? I'm like, let's talk about yourself. I don't know. Like, they'll ask you questions. Like, oh shit. He kept trying to like avoid it because I think he was nervous the whole time. He's like, oh, they still want to talk to me? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. What should I say? I'm like, say whatever you want, man. Like, he was just so nervous.
Yeah.
It was it's so funny though. We did like that. Well, you guys saw the Paco video, the one that Rob did.
Yeah.
Hashtag push Paco.
The title of it is heavily influenced by Two Use on Face.
It's completely influenced by you. Let's not even joke about that. You guys came up with that. But I was asking the questions, you know, before we're doing it, and I was like, who are you? And he's like, me. I'm Paco. I'm like,
oh,
the hand slapping. He's like,
yeah.
me. I'm Paco, man. And yeah, I mean, Paco, I like to, you know, I'm the guy, I'm the underdog, but I'm like, Paco, you stop slapping, you stop punching your hand. You know, like,
yeah,
just give me deliver.
The
like,
mic's picking it up.
He's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, all right. Sorry. I'm like, all right, now again. Right. He goes, me. I'm Paco. I'm Paco, man. I just that's who I am. I'm like, Paco, you gotta stop punching your hand. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I need you to also repeat the question in the answer. He's like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, tell me about yourself. You know, hey, I just like, oh shit. It was just the funniest thing. Like, Rob and I look over each other. We're like, how do I get them to stop? I'm like, can you just edit this out somehow? Can you edit the hand slap? And he's like, I'll see what I can do. Cause he was just he was not having it.
Yeah, when everyone wants to bang on Sammy Callahan's dressing room door, and we're like, no, we want to talk to Paco, actually.
You know, it's true. He's great though, man. He talk about a guy who grassroots. He's the Mikey Whipwreck of this generation, man. The perpetual underdog, but man, people love it.
Yeah. There's
another fan favorite. Yeah, another fan favorites are the Besties. They've been holding on to those titles for a very long time.
Title reign. You can imagine Vega's ego with his title reign now. It's like a year-long reign nearly, and he's just gonna be. I think they hit a year now. This is it. And the ego on this guy.
If there's one person to make that joke, it would be him. And he's like the only one in the world who I want to have an ego. Like every other person, I'm like, oh, that guy's got such a huge ego, but like, I want to just throw coal into the fire of Vega's ego, because I think that's when he's at his most entertaining.
I'm gonna see really quick because I'm curious now. I think they hit the year. I'm just gonna see.
I think there's potential.
They hit the year, man.
There's potential too for like have Vega and Fulton to be in the ring at the same time, and like a lot of funny stuff to happen.
So this is Fulton's debut for AAW. This is Madman Fulton's AAW debut along with Ace Austin. Another two guys who completely have been furthering their brand on Impact since this all went down, because Impact kept taping, right? The rise of Ace Austin has been incredible. He was the main event of Slammiversary as well. Like, this guy's done awesome stuff. Like, the guy's like, completely has grown. And then Fulton, you know, really, really growing himself, like coming into his own. And we've been trying to find a way for it to work out with him in AAW, but it never lined right up. But now it just lines up perfect because they're also teaming on TV. So this is perfect. Like, it's a perfect opportunity for both of them. And this is great. I'm excited to see this one a lot.
Yeah, they just tagged at Warrior too, I think. So becoming synonymous as a tag team and doing it in different places. And that's one I don't know so much about them as a tag team, so I don't have a ton of expectations. So that's one I would like need to discover more, as well as like the Justice versus Manders match, where I know like a little bit about Manders, but in terms of like that match and the booking, well, I guess explain to me any booking strategy, or you don't have to lift the veil, but if you could pull the curtain up a little bit, because you are a backstage boy and you do have access to do that. But
It's true.
explain to us, just because I don't even know really where to start with them, not because I don't want to, but just because I don't know. So like that match, where does that start?
So if anybody follows them online, that you can probably see them always hashtag SCG, them along with Manser.
Mm-hmm.
It's second year, or SGC, second gear crew. That's like their little crew.
Okay.
I forget who else is in it. It's Justice, Manders, Mance, and somebody else maybe, I think. But they're all good. They're boys, and this is a match of, hey, like who's got the edge. So it's friendly competition in a way. These guys
Okay.
are very familiar with each other, so I think it'll be. I think it's a great matchup because they're two guys kind of at that same growth level right now, making waves together, making noise together on the independents. But I think Justice had a banger of a match earlier this year with Nick Gage. I think he really came out and people were like, damn, he can go. Like he's actually like, this dude's legit. Because he hadn't done too much Chicago. I don't remember ever seeing him before we booked him.
Mm.
And him, kind of becoming known to the Chicago fans and stuff. He's proven himself. Mander's another one, to me, complete road warrior, a guy who started off very eager to learn and grow and become something, and who constantly invests in himself. And Mander's one of my favorite stories of just continued success. Because I remember just sitting with him, and he's asking advice. He's like, what do you think I should do? Should I try this? What can I do here? Always willing to learn. So for him to come into his own over the last year has been awesome to watch. This should be a very, very good match, actually.
Nice. And then it seems like the main event, Jay Chris probably being like an AAW litmus test, right? If you can have a banger main event with Jay Chris, then you can a main event AAW.
Well, he's his new character. He's doing the Modern Man in Black. So he's kind of getting a resurgence. He's been with JT Davidson on the Indies a lot. I don't know if I personally cannot tell if we have JT or not. I don't know if the JT has been cleared to do this one. But he's kind of reinventing himself. We all saw he kind of got screwed on Impact due to some of the stuff that happened in Speaking Out, because he was part of a tag team with his brother initially. Obviously, his brother had some controversy surrounding him. He was eliminated from Impact. And then he was in a storyline with Cancel Culture with Joey Ryan, who also has a lot of controversy. So two areas that he was fit into were inadvertently dropped because of what happened. And it kind of left him as a victim of it. Mm-hmm. So he was off TV, kind of rumors out on, or the jury's out on where his status is with Impact. But because he was innocent bystander in a sense. But in the meantime, I've seen him kind of reinvent himself, the new character, going back with JT. He's, like I said, he's a litmus test in AAW. He's former several-time tag team champion, been there forever. And he's one of those guys like you can put him against anybody.
Yeah.
We need you to have a good match. Like, who can give so-and-so a good match? It's like Jake Chris cannot have a bad match at all.
Right. Was it Jake Chris the one that had that match with and the quote unquote dark match where the lights went out in LaSalle?
That was
it. Was that him?
That was him. He was bleeding, like it was full blood. There's a great picture Basil took of that one. That's insane. But Jake and Jimmy Jacobs, where the lights went out. Were you guys there?
No.
I missed that one too. I was at a family obligation that day. But that's one of the most famous AAW moments where the lights went on. The night the lights went on, LaSalle. It was
and the whole town.
The whole town went out for. It was like, you see the pictures of it. Like people are lighting the ring up with their cell phones. Mm-hmm. Like I think Basil used one of his lights. It's like they got through it somehow. Very popular in the folklore of AAW.
Yeah, he seems like Mr. Reliable. That someone Danny or
Yeah.
whoever is booking can always lean on.
He's one of those guys who like he's credible. He's great at what he does. He has a great pedigree, like in terms of his history and where he comes from.
He does the pedigree?
No, he does not do pedigree.
Just kidding.
But what he does is great stuff. I mean, the guy is a fantastic performer, so you can count on him to deliver.
Absolutely.
And why not? You know, why not? Why not? If you can book Jake Chris, why wouldn't you? Because you're not going to get disappointed.
Why not Paco again? Why not?
Let's get off.
He's
the
a
Paco
mystery
train.
man.
You know, Paco is done. He's buried. Hakeem saying he buried him. He buried him at the at the first show that they had there when he took his belt from him at the Windy City Classic, and then he buried him in the rematch. You know, at New Dawn. He just dug him back up, buried him again. It's over. Paco, the Paco dream is dead.
I am being dragged behind that train. Like my corpse is just being dragged against the rail. I will not get off the train. Like I'm tied to it.
Poor Paco.
And I just let it end me. And
for
those listening, like we really do like Paco. Like it's turned into a joke. We really do like him. But it's like we really do want to see him succeed.
You guys were a big part of the Paco movement. I'm serious. And this is no joke.
No, I know.
The hashtag Push Paco started from you guys. The movie that Rob made was titled hashtag Push Paco because of you guys. So the Paco movement is a real thing. I can never deny that. The crowd reaction to him, because there's some guys, right, that I'm like, oh, is the reaction just because of the song? Because the song's catchy and people are just like singing along with the song, you know? Or is it like the guy? And, you know, and with Paco, it's Paco. Yeah. You know, with like, for example, I use Ace Romero as an example, right? Ace Romero has, you know, he's not a very regular AAW guy, but his reaction's huge. And I'm like, but then you start thinking back, like, is it the song? Is the song's very catchy? People love singing the song, right? Would the reaction be the same if it wasn't the song, right?
But in the case of Davey Vega, right? Everybody hated Davey Vega. Like they were like, he had so much heat, but after the song, the besties became a thing, and they started going everywhere with the song. I mean, I wish they would be able to play it everywhere they go.
Yeah.
But I think they proved themselves that they're like the song is just part of what got them in the door.
Exactly.
But, you know,
exactly. I 100% agree with that. But Paco is a natural grassroots movement.
Yeah, because I don't like Paco's entrance music.
No, it's definitely
it does not match him.
It's not the only thing at all.
That's the only thing that doesn't match. But I make him like him more.
Yeah,
I was like, well, this song is way too intense for what Paco is. Like I'm talking, Paco is a little dude, man, and like this very quiet guy, and the song is like. It's like, this is so not Paco at all.
Yeah. I just want to bring that up because if someone is unfamiliar with those jokes, it's like we do want success, but then also turned into like a running gag as well.
Oh, they're wondering why we're spending literally 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is Paco?
Yeah. All right, Trent. So let's get to show 2 spoilers. What have you got for us?
Show 2 spoilers. Well, keep an eye out for stuff during the show in terms of like what obviously we have to let you know what's coming for the next one, right?
Right.
And because this is a series, results of this, feed the next show. So obviously, what happens here is going to set your tone. So show number 1 is very important for that reason. So keep an eye out. You'll have some. You'll probably get some nuggets dropped on who's going to show up for show number 2. So keep your eyes open on that in the broadcast.
Thursdays. Why Thursdays?
Thursday.
Was it a way of just limiting people to like?
It was. We got Bourbon Street will work with us. We have a great partnership with Bourbon Street going back. Oh man, I went to first 8 over a decade, right? They've worked with Bourbon Street. Great relationship, great setup, and because of their restrictions, what they're trying to do with their limitations. They said, look, Thursday is a great day to give you guys. We can work with you guys on Thursday. That's not too much demand on us for the bar. Because everybody's trying to survive, right? Everybody's limited. Like you guys see a Bourbon Street on a Saturday night is literally, if you're a South Sider, is the place to fucking be. So they're limited. So we have to be fair to them. Thursday is a little off night. So they said we can work with you guys on Thursday. A little easier too. Like you can kind of get more access to some people. Because it's a Thursday, there's not many conflicts on a Thursday. a little more room to work with. So it makes it a little special to me. It's kind of like becomes a weekly show. In that point, there's nobody runs on Thursday. No TV shows are on Thursday, wrestling wise. So it's kind of
But
like,
it
hey,
can
we
be on
can
your
be the one.
TV if you buy it through the fight.
$12.99, man. I'm surprised. One thing that bothers me, I'm like, we should have done a 4-show pack for this, because Warrior did that, right, for
I believe so,
their
yeah.
Stadium series.
Yeah, they did
And was like a
3-pack, I
discount if you
think.
got all
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah,
3-pack.
yeah.
I'm surprised. I don't know if we just think we couldn't get that from Fight or what happened, but Fight is going to carry the whole thing. They're amazing partners as well. Fight is a great team of people. So, and as you guys know, with Fight, you buy it, it's on demand forever after that. So
Yeah, it's just so easy
edit.
to. Yeah, it's on demand is just so easy for I feel like my schedule, where it's like I feel like I'm just watching wrestling at like the weirdest times, and just have it a couple clicks away is just so convenient.
Especially with Fight giving the options, like you can Chromecast it out. You can, you have a lot of options, start it, stop. It's just on-demand wrestling is great, no question about it. Live, there's a different vibe for live, no question, but having it available like this at your fingertips on your phone is clutch.
Yeah, especially when it's alive.
Live. It's awesome. I love the logo. Have you guys seen the logo? Is incredible to me.
Whose creation was that?
That's one of our artists, I think, in the UK who does that. He's been doing a lot of the posters.
Oh,
I love
awesome.
it. The T-shirt just got released in Pro Wrestling Tees right now as well for the logo.
Right.
Oh, cool.
I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's
I was literally about to be like, oh, Pro Wrestling Tees. I got my Team Cart shirt on, but I don't.
Oh, there it is.
No, my 3-month-old vomited all over it earlier today.
Shit.
So she saw it and she's like, Team Cart.
Yeah, well, there's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Oh man.
No, but it just hit Pro Wrestling Tees today, so it's on there. It's ready to go. Obviously, it's a little too short of notice for people to get it for tomorrow or for the October 1st show, but maybe for the 29th, if you're in town. Very limited. Only 50 people are coming. If you're in town, grab your shirt.
Right. How are you guys dealing with merch?
We're gonna have a merch table set up. It'll be there. I still wanna be, as much semblance of a regular show you can give people.
Okay.
I want to give it. So no intermission, obviously, because it's a live show, but merch table will be there. I'm not sure if we're letting people in a little early, but
okay.
Merch will be available. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's always good to see wrestling come alive again.
It's been a while, man. It is a little nerve-wracking though, Very good tie-in, by the way. Very good tie-in.
Yeah, that was good.
It's crazy because you run so many shows, but like, I'm not nervous now, but tomorrow I will be.
Mm-hmm.
Once we like start doing pre-tapes, then it's like I have to talk to people through a mask. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's not the world we left. And 7 months might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. You kind of, you're not in that zone that you are every week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe a little bit of rust, but once you do like 17 Trent things, I'm sure within an hour, I'm sure the 18th will.
Yeah, it'll come back. It'll somehow find its way back.
Yeah, at some point, you guys got to get a shirt now. Trent things.
I should get a shirt called Trent Things. We have to retire Team Card, put Trent Things on there on the Backstage Boys Pro Wrestling Tees.
Definitely.
So Charlie, are you going to be at any of them? Chris is coming to 2. You have tickets for 2 of them, right? You said.
I snagged 2 when I panicked and noticed that it was 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, oh shit, I was supposed to do this at 8.
Damn, yeah.
So yeah, I panicked and I got 2. I think it's the second and last show.
Nice. Those are good ones to be at though, too. Actually, so
yeah.
And Charlie, are you set for any of them?
Not right now. But Thursdays, unfortunately, is my D&D night. But not that we can't. Sometimes we move it to Tuesdays. So tomorrow I'm not going. And I don't think any of them fall when the Bears play on Thursday Night Football. So I think I'm good there. Those will be the only 2 things that would drag me away. But 100%, like, if I plan it ahead, which I now have no excuse not to because I know the dates, I should check in with Chris and see which one I'm able to go to. So not tomorrow, but I think it's very likely I'll hit up a couple.
The thing to tell you guys, because they did all sell out, but because of the current situation. There might be last minute mind changers. Because the thing is, we gave priority to
Season ticket holders.
season ticket people got it first, right? Because it's like you guys paid for season. So we sent out a thing to the season ticket holders to say, hey, RSVP if you are comfortable coming. So some were, some are not. They were just like, no, just roll us over till next year. So, and then everything after that, what the difference between those people and then everything up to 50 is what we were able to make available. So you might have people who change their minds. It's 4 months in advance. If you don't have tickets for any of the other ones, I would just recommend keep your eyes peeled, because if they do open up, we'll put them out right away. So just keep conscious.
Yep. Follow AAW Pro on Twitter, on Instagram, anything else fit like them on Facebook, and you'll get those notifications and all the other match announcements and things, like all the cool promos of Hyan and Stephen Wolf looking sharp.
That one just dropped. So different. Different.
She looks very different, but she looks great. And so is Stephen Wolf. So yeah, that's the place for updates. Or you can follow us on Twitter at the number 2 heels and a face. I jumped a little bit early on that, but you'll get up. We retweet all the stuff. So yeah, there you go.
Nice. What else? Should I interview you guys now?
Yeah. This is a hot tag.
Are you guys gonna ambush me and then like bring Steve in here and like be like, I just took another number away from you? Like, fuck.
I feel like I've been asking you a ton of tough questions tonight, so I think I'm gonna let you off the hot seat there, and you answered them very politically well, and I don't think you're in trouble. So
no, I kept it pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's hopefully have you on at the end of this 4-month series.
Absolutely. I would love to. We'll talk about it, kind of see how it all arced itself, to from now till the end of the year. Maybe that one will be a full capacity show. Who knows how this might go? We have 3 months left in the year. Let's see what happens. Things can change. I'm like overly optimistic that one day this, like, the news is going to report that this thing went away. Like, it's like, hey, by the way, we all woke up today and it's gone. The coronavirus just went away last night. I'm holding out for that hope, guys.
All right. Well,
it's a false hope, but I'm holding out for it. But
right,
cool.
Trent, do you want to plug your podcast, all your 20 podcasts?
Yeah, that'll be quick. You can follow me at Trent Zuberi on Twitter. And then my 2 shows, my big one is the Total Nonstop Impact podcast. If you're an Impact Wrestling fan, we do the post show every Tuesday night after Impact on Access, and then we do a full on post show review and discussion. It's very talk show style. It's not a typical like Meltzery, like, well, and then there was a clothesline at minute 2, and then what do you think about that clothesline? Oh, it was hard hitting, 6 stars, or what the fuck? No, it's not any of that shit, right? It's like literally a fucking talk show. It's like a Mancow's Morning Madhouse, Howard Stern approach to wrestling discussion.
Okay.
Thursday nights we do a throwback. And then Sunday, we do the TNA shows from the Asylum. And then Sunday nights, open forum. And then Backstage Boys podcast, me and Basil, who is the photographer extraordinaire on the scene. We discuss independent pro wrestling, production, behind the scenes kind of stuff. Hasn't been too much to talk about. It's a little bit slow on the calendar releases, but we did release a new one this week. So check that out. Just type in Total Nonstop Impact or Backstage Boys podcast. It literally comes up. It's on every platform you can imagine. So search us, like, follow, subscribe. Get a hold of us, and then go from there.
Cool.
Awesome. Great. Everybody remember to go and get your fight purchase so you can watch all these 4 shows. As far as 2 Heels and a Face goes, I know Charlie already talked about 2 Heels and a Face on Twitter. We're also on Facebook and Instagram under 2 Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. We have a website where we post all of our episodes in the event that you can't find it anywhere, 2heelsandaface.com. But if you want to listen to the podcast in a podcast platform, where can they find that, Charlie?
Yep. Only strictly on dailymotion.com. That is we're exclusive to Dailymotion. Just kidding. Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of those platforms. And yeah, I think when you hopefully visit there, drop us a review. Use the hashtag #repushPaco on there, please. And then we'll know that you listened to this episode.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.